Serve Pro of Piatuit County's Clinton Maroon Player of the Game. They'll be highlighted in each WHOW Maroon post-game broadcast. And get a certificate from WHOW and Serve Pro of Piatuit Counties. Remember, Serve Pro of Piatuit Counties for fire and water restoration, reconstruction, and now duct cleaning to keep your air healthy. Click their icon at doitdailynews.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin insurance agent in Clinton. My guests on the Zoom today, the students from Blue Ridge Schools and Dr. Hillary Stanifer, Blue Ridge Schools Superintendent. Dr. Stanifer, how are you today?
I'm doing great. I want to make sure that all your viewers know that you are wearing a Blue Ridge hat for us this morning. Thank you, Seth.
It might clash with my Maroons polo shirt, but I apologize. You called me out last time, Dr. Stanifer, that I only have a certain amount of interviews left with you, and I got to get this Blue Ridge hat in here. So I apologize for the color clash. Hopefully you can forgive me this time.
I can, absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, you've got 4 students there with you in what appears to be a conference room of sorts. Tell me a little bit about these students and why they're with you today.
Well, I have with me, and I'll let them introduce themselves in a minute, but I have Caleb, and I have Brogan, and I have Madison, and I have Carly with me. And they were just able to experience something with Senator Sally Turner, and I thought you might like to hear a little bit more about that from them.
Sure. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, let's do this. Let's go around the horn, and we'll start on the front left and just kind of circle around and have you guys tell us, tell us about yourself, what year in at Blue Ridge High School you are, and this opportunity through Senator Turner's office, how you got involved in this.
I'm Brogan, and I'm 10th grade, and I don't know really about myself, but I don't know what to say.
Well, Brogan, tell me a little bit about what was the opportunity with Senator Turner, the Youth Advisory Council. What is that exactly?
It was an opportunity given to some students about just how the government works and how to pass a bill, really.
Gotcha. And so let's go to your left there and have you introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Caleb.
Okay.
I'm also in 10th grade. And about the experience, it was amazing, an amazing experience. Gonna hang out with my friends all day and learn how government works. But it was awesome, and I would do it again if I could.
Yeah. Caleb, tell me a little bit about how you got involved in this opportunity. Like, did a teacher encourage you? Did you hear about it? How did you get involved?
Yeah, I was suggested from one of our teachers, probably Mr. Easter, our principal.
Uh-huh. Did he say why you should do it?
I don't have that in front of me at this moment.
Yeah, I don't have that in front of me at this moment.
That's all right. That's all right. Dr. Stanifer, to your left there.
I'm Carly, and I'm in the 11th grade. I really liked the opportunity to go to the Youth Advisory Council because we got to do mock debates, and just like we did a mock bill passing to see how our government works.
Yeah, sure. So that leaves us with Madison. Madison, again, tell us about yourself and how you got involved in the Youth Advisory Council opportunity.
Okay, well, you already said my name, but this is my junior year of high school. And I got involved, strangely enough, a teacher didn't volunteer me for this. I had just gone to our guidance counselor because I wanted to do BACC. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically this subsect of our school where you can go and learn basically almost on the job experience through whatever career you want to do. And I chose law. And I just had a lot of government stuff that I really liked, and I was taking a civics class, so I was like, I really want to do this, and Hieronymus really remembered that, and so she was like, we've done this for the past couple years, and I think you'll really enjoy it. So I went, sure, I have the free time. And so that's what I did. And we went to, the first one we went to was just outlining how to make a bill, which was kind of cool because we had to like split up into groups.
Mhm.
And no one from the same school really got to be with each other. So I remember the sheer panic of like showing up and being like, we're not at the same table. And we're like, oh my God, we have to talk to people. So, and then we went to the second one, and then it really, you didn't get to talk to anyone because you're in this mock setup of the Senate. So you had your senators, you had your lobbyists, and you had your concerned community. And I think everyone had fun. I think we talked more to the concerned community members than we did the lobbyists because obviously it was the first time anyone had to do it. So the lobbyists were like, I don't know what to do. So it was really fun.
Yeah.
I think everyone here got to do different things.
Yeah.
Debate, so.
Yeah. Madison, you mentioned the BACC. I assume that's the Bloomington Area Career Center.
Yes.
Yeah. Remind me again what you're doing over there for that opportunity.
So next year I'm going to go. I have 4 classes here, and then for the rest of the day I'll go over there and learn different things about law. You go over policing. You go over what a lawyer would do. You even get into like really niche parts of it, like I forget the actual name, but people who write down stuff in court. You get to meet people who do that.
Stenographer.
And you get a lot of certifications.
Is stenographer the word you're looking for?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Now, Carly, you mentioned you got into this because of the debate side of it. What appealed to you about the debate side of this thing?
Honestly, I did not know that we were doing a debate until I got there, and I really enjoyed it. It was nerve-wracking at first, but through this experience, we gained social skills.
Mhm.
And on the first field trip side of this, we all came up with an idea for a bill to get passed. And then on the second half, we actually went through with one of the ideas and got to debate in a Senate setting.
That's cool. Caleb, what was the bill that the group you got assigned to? What did you guys come up with?
Our bill that we came up with was finding ways to get students to have more access to mental health help, so that they wouldn't be alone in scenarios where they needed help, where they could feel like they could access it better.
Yeah, that's a good one. Brogan, what was your group's bill?
My group's bill was pushing the school start times back, and all the complications with that. It was the most unique out of every single one of them. Every single one of them was focused on school, except for the voter ID one that actually did pass to go to the second session of it. But the one that we were doing was the biggest out of all of them because it was changing everybody's schedule throughout.
Yeah.
Well,
now, Brogan, I don't know that you told us how you got involved in this. Was there a teacher, or how did you get involved?
Well, I was kind of dragged into it because I'm a quote unquote leader. I don't know.
Whatever that means.
I don't know what that means really.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it?
I did enjoy it actually. It was very unique. It was a very new experience to me. I was very shell-shocked by it because like new people, new schools, I didn't know anybody. And whenever I was going to the very first session, I thought I was going to be sat with my friends. And I got sat with a bunch of like seniors and like a junior. And that was not fun, but I got over it.
Yeah, maybe a little intimidating for sure. Yeah, very good, guys. Well, did I miss anything you all wanted to talk about with this? It just really, I've got Senator Turner coming on my show tomorrow, and she talks about this with me every year, and it's just really cool that we've got 4 kids from Blue Ridge that participated in this. Kids, Dr. Stanifer, did I miss anything that you all want to talk about?
I wanted to ask a question. So when you talked about the lobbyists were there and people were talking with the concerned citizens more than the lobbyists, what were all the roles that students from other schools were playing? In other words, were there students that were the lobbyists and students that were the concerned citizens?
Yeah. So when you walked in, you get this name tag, and that would depend on where you sat. So if I recall correctly, Brogan was a lobbyist, and he was for the bill. And then Caleb was a concerned citizen against, and then
I was for.
you were for
the
it.
bill.
And I love Carly's the most because, well, she quoted me. How can I not?
We supported each other's opinions.
And it was great. I loved it. It was really, really fun. Caleb was the worst.
Did you say your role?
Oh, well.
Oh, okay, yes.
She was Senator Grider.
Oh, wow.
Republican.
Yeah. I was gonna say that was also a thing. Depending on if you were senator, you would go and have a different role because you had the chairman, and basically they had the gavel. If I were to like lunge at Caleb per se, she would bang on the gavel and be like, "You can't do that." And luckily that never happened. It was a really big challenge for me, but I persevered. And then you had the person who introduced the bill, and that would be, he was sitting behind me. I never actually saw him.
Yeah.
And he basically was just introduced it and was like, "I'm really for this," and all the Republicans kind of wanted to support their bill, and then you had the Democrats who didn't want the bill, and you could go from there. Obviously, you could vote for whatever you wanted, but I was competitive, so I voted for the Republican. I wanted him to win.
Very good. That's awesome. By the way, Dr. Stanifer, in your retirement years, there's free mics on the other side of this table if you want to, take on some interviewing skills. That was well done by you. But yeah, that's really good. That's really cool stuff, guys. I appreciate you sharing that with us here this morning. And if there's nothing else you guys want to weigh in on, we'll let you go for the morning. We good?
All good?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you again. That's Madison Grider, Carly Warner, Caleb Forrest, and Brogan Flannel at Blue Ridge High School talking about their recent trip to Springfield for the Youth Advisory Council with State Senator Sally Turner's office here this morning on the morning show with Superintendent Dr. Hillary Stanifer. And guys, we'll take a break here, come back with some more. You're listening to The Morning Show on WHOW.
WHOW.
Yeah, you can stand up and wave to them.
Okay, I'm great.
You seem very, very scared.
Taylor corn higher, wheat trading lower. May corn down 4 3/4, 471. July corn down 5 1/4, 478. New crop December 453 1/4, down 4 3/4. May beans up 6 1/2, 1041 3/4. July beans up 5 1/2, 1051 1/2. New crop November 1027, up 1/2 penny. May Chicago wheat 531 3/4, down 3 3/4. July wheat down 3 3/4, 546 1/2. May bean meal 292.40, that's up 50 cents. May bean oil 47.66, up 8 cents. Livestock market, May feeders 288.47, up $1.55. April live cattle up $1.52, 212.90. May lean hogs down 55 cents, 91.67. Energy market, June crude oil 61.82, down $1.85. Jim Taylor, RFD.
Thank you for listening to this Miller Media Group radio station. We appreciate you making the choice to tune in to us. We want to remind you of some things to keep the attorneys happy. Our stations allow one winner per household in a 30-day period. Cash prizes are mailed to our winners within 30 days of winning. And as you've probably already guessed, portions of today's programming on this Miller Media Group radio station were pre-recorded and are mechanically or digitally reproduced. There. Now we've made the attorneys happy. Thanks again for listening to this Miller Media Group station.
Find out how you and your family can save up to 40% on the meat, produce, and grocery items you use every day by clicking the Clinton Save-A-Lot icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Peterson Insurance Services in Clinton is a 2014 Pekin Insurance Illinois Agency of the Year. Jay Peterson here from Peterson Insurance. Find out about Pekin's auto, home, or life insurance by clicking on our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Once again, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Dr. Hillary Stanifer, Superintendent of Blue Ridge Schools, my guest on the Zoom today. Dr. Stanifer, one thing that is kind of sweeping conversation in superintendent circles with me lately has been this cell phone ban proposal. I don't know that you and I have had a chance to catch up on it. Tell me a little bit about this and what you think of it.
I actually would be very curious to hear what your thoughts are on it, but I'll go first and just say that we've made a strong stance in our 4th or 8th grade building that cell phones, we used to say that they're off and away, but now they have to be in a locker. We have lockers inside classrooms in grades 4 through 6, but obviously they're still stowed away from student access during the day, from when school starts to when school dismisses. 7th and 8th grade, we actually had a setup where we had no locks on lockers previously. It's just something that kids just stopped using locks. We're small enough that sometimes that's just a thing that happens. And then when we told the kids that they had to have their phones in their lockers, we wanted to provide that safety. So we provided locks for everybody. So cell phones there are, again, away from start time in the morning until dismissal in the afternoon. That is seeming to work wonderfully over there. At the high school, the policy this year is that students' cell phones are off and away, but they can be on their person. And so classrooms and teachers really have to be like-minded. If you're in a classroom and you have, 3-4 minutes left at the end, we really want teachers to say, nope, we're not using 3-4 minutes of cell phone time. They're just not allowed in this classroom. Study halls, they can't be used during that time either, but we do have students having access during passing periods and also at lunchtime. So I don't know if I have a real strong opinion about lunchtime. It would be nice to say that they're away the whole entire time that they're here, and so they can get used to having conversation face to face. But I know that we're already weaning them away from that when they're not using them during academic time. So I feel like that was a good first step. My only problem with the bill is treating every single district the same all the way through the state, because we're not the same, far from it. And also making the schools have the burden of buying these fancy pouches that are, have cell phones locked up and all that kind of stuff. To me, that seems a little bit overkill, or a lot overkill. But I understand the purpose behind it is to make sure that kids aren't, feeding that cell phone addiction, which most adults also have, and we just don't want to realize or don't want to admit that we have it, but it's there. It's strong.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, for sure. And it's one of those things, Dr. Stanifer, and I've talked with, superintendents over the years about, just the regulation from the state, and every time there's a proposal from Illinois, it's just along the lines of the deterioration of local control. And, like you mentioned, just like Blue Ridge is not the same as, like normal school district or Bloomington school district or heck, even Clinton school district. You know what I mean? And so like allowing districts to cater their rules, to what fits them and suits them best, it really kind of takes that away from everybody. And it has for, not just cell phones. It's been several topics over the years.
Yeah. And then usually there's a financial aspect that's attached. Well, just like there was this time. So and then I don't know. I'll tell you this. We had another medical emergency this morning right after school got in session, and it was important that somebody had a cell phone there that they could call 911 right away. Otherwise you're running to find the nearest adult so they can call, and we had probably at least a 60-second jump on that because somebody had a cell phone in their pocket. So and I get it. It's very important that kids are present for instruction, mentally and physically, but I don't think we need to be locked down the same way that everybody else is across the state. And who's going to come check on it too, right? So,
well, and I think the pro side of the argument is what you're talking about there, is the distraction piece. But also, I think one of the things that may come up is, this idea of issues that happen on cell phones from social media, whether it's bickering and fighting or whatever the case may be, to those conflicts among students. Maybe those go away for the 8 hours that kids are in school or whatever it is anymore. The 6-7 hours that they're in school. Maybe those things go away. But do you deal with that much in Blue Ridge?
Well, I'll tell you this. I was very surprised, pleasantly surprised, that when we went to our cell phone policy for this year, you would think that when they got to lunchtime, everybody would just be glued to their phone, right? Because they've been off of it for 4 or 5 hours already that morning. That wasn't the case. They were talking in person. So that was good. And the question that you asked about, what about the online stuff, the Snapchat and all those other things that are going on? Does that still happen? Yeah, it does. I'm not hearing a lot of conversation from the high school or actually from the junior high either about that issue this year. It seems like we're kind of figuring that stuff out and knowing that that's not appropriate. I'm not saying we're perfect by any means. Kids still pick on each other and we have to address it, but I'm not seeing the same level of doing so with technology like we were just a couple of years ago.
Sure. Very good. Well, Dr. Stanifer, with the cell phone bill ban, did we miss anything on that you want to talk about?
I don't think so. Just anxious to watch it and see what we're told to do, because we're putting out handbooks already right now. We're passing them for next year, and so when all these things pass the legislation in summertime, it's going to make things difficult to respond on the fly.
Will it be for the next school year?
You know what? I haven't been watching closely enough because of that June 30th date coming up for me.
Oh, gotcha. That may be another problem for the new superintendent, it sounds like.
Perhaps it could be.
Perhaps it could be, for sure. Very good. Well, Dr. Stanifer, speaking of new superintendents, and I'm blanking on his name, forgive me.
Ryan Payton.
Mr. Payton. One thing that he's going to have the benefit of is 80,000 fresh dollars in the budget, thanks to the 1-cent sales tax in McLean County passing. How about that?
That is correct. So we are part of McLean County, just a small snip of it. We have residents up in Bellflower, and so when that passed, we were very thankful. Our amount that we bring in obviously is going to be according to the number of students we have enrolled from McLean County. So they're estimating, and of course this is an estimate because we don't know what sales are going to be, but they're estimating 80,000. I do want to say that some of the larger districts were promoting that they were going to abate taxes or lower taxes in accordance with a certain percentage of what they expected to get in. The reason why Blue Ridge did not make that same claim, I want to make sure it's really clear. If I abated $80,000 of tax, you're not going to notice but a couple dollars on your tax bill. Your tax bill is probably going to go up anyway because your property is going to be worth more, especially in farm ground areas. So it wouldn't be noticed, and it would make it look like I wasn't being honest. So we never made that claim because our amount is so small, and this is not an amount that you're building buildings with. This is an amount that will help, offset some of the costs that we already spend for mental health and for police officer, SRO, and so on. Gotcha.
Very good. But still, that little extra money is certainly worthwhile. So very good.
Absolutely.
Look forward. And when do you get that first installment of those dollars?
I believe that's going to happen in the fall.
Okay, sure. Very good, Dr. Stanifer. Well, hey, where do folks go to follow along all things Blue Ridge Schools?
BlueRidge18.org. Find us there.
Very good. Dr. Hillary Stanifer, Superintendent of Blue Ridge Schools, my guest on the Zoom today. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube. Brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin insurance agent in Clinton. Network news comes your way now.
WHOW.